I think it's frustrating, but I think it's positive. When you look at where we were about 5 weeks ago, you know, it's a top 10 team on the road. We had foul trouble. We played overtime without Sid, without Kylie. The inconsistency of which the game was called, both ways. It's not why we lost, but when you have inconsistent with that, it's hard to stop a really amazingly strong player like Cody McMahon, because you get a lot of fouls. You know, she gets to say in the game how it's called. You get one of your kids fouled out, so it's just the luck of the draw with that. So to be able to withstand all that and a slow start, but still be able to say woulda, coulda, shoulda, that's the positive. But the frustration is the woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? Oh man, if we just would have done one defensive assignment correctly at the right time in the overtime, if we would have just run one of our sets a little bit more cleanly, right? It's always that one possession. So I think that's why it's, you know, Sid's probably feeling a little frustrated, and Lucy's looking at it positively, because I think it's all true.
Just 90 seconds to go in regulation, could have easily packed it in at that point, down 12. Just what did you see from your team in that moment, and you know, what did they show you over those last?
Yeah, well, I think that's what I love, is what I've kind of shared the whole year, is that they've always stayed the course, right? Even in the adversity we were facing, is, you know, they just kept staying the course and showing up. And so they were frustrated, and I got them to settle, because they were, you know, frustrated with, you know, if they weren't fouling, we're fouling. Like, look, we're fouling, right? Stay right here in this moment, get some stops. And then, you know, we had to have some heroics, right? Lucy had a couple, you know, tough shots that went in. But I think, you know, we were kind of due. We missed a lot of easy shots in the first quarter. So to mount a comeback like that, you got to have a few things go on your side. You just hope when it does and you get the break to go into overtime, you'll hold. But I think that's where it went back. We didn't have our experience in the game, and we had to play some youth. And I love them. They just made some youthful mistakes at the tough times.
I guess offensively, up until the end there, what was maybe caused the you know, up and down play there up until the?
What do you mean up and down? You mean transition, or what do you mean?
Just kind of what led to the slow start? And
I don't know. We did some things differently than we did against Michigan State. I tried to get them up and do the things, but I think I got to keep, you know, doing that. I think probably that's just 8 out of 13 are new. You know, just aren't mature enough yet to really handle that. Maybe, you know, even when you're on the bench, that energy's got to be high. So I think that was a little bit. I think that we missed some shots. I think we missed a layup in that first opening minute. We missed a couple wide open threes, and then that makes you tight. I thought what was good, though, we did handle the press per se. We had some unforced, you know, turnovers down there. We just threw it to the other team when we didn't have a post look or whatever. But I think the up and down is just we both like to play fast. I mean, 22 for them, Cambridge. She likes to go really fast, and she's got rim. She sees it. She's real inconsistent. Today she was, to me, the freshman of the year in the big. One of them, certainly a contender. And we just didn't have that consistency in our offense. We were sloppy in the first half. We didn't set or wait for our screens, but we did lock that down a little bit better in the second half. So I was happy with the improvement.
Have you ever had to ask for score updates all the way through?
No, and that kind of frustrated me. But then they gave me an iPad, which is nice. Okay. It just is, you don't know that until you get into it. But you're just always kind of checking up there, you know, like, you know, how much the margin is. So thankfully it was Bailey. Someone got me a little iPad. But that was just kind of weird, but certainly not why we didn't play well. But I was glad when I got that iPad. It just was amazing how much I missed it. You know, I was like, where the heck?
It was frustrating for me too, and I was far less attached than you. I mean, as you move forward, I mean, is the positive elements of this game kind of grow as you move forward, and maybe the frustration is right now because it just ended?
Yeah, I think it is because it ended. I mean, anytime. I mean, if you're a competitor, like, I get cranky if I lose in cards. I mean, I don't like losing, period. And I thought this was a game that we could have stolen. But I also then remember we lost this last year with Caitlin and company. They had some different players too. I mean, I don't know if they lose here much. So you got to be realistic a little bit. So the expectations are high. But I don't know if I've said this to you or to radio, but in my opinion, I'm biased. I did look at the rest of the remaining schedule. I think ours is the hardest. We were the only team that has 2 of the top 10 left down the stretch. I think Indiana's is challenging too. They got to go to Michigan State. They play Maryland. I think they host Ohio State. You know, I think would rather play Ohio State at home. But so that's, you got to take into consideration. We're a younger team. We faced some adversities. We've won now 6 out of 7, right? And we've lost this game in overtime on their court. So for us to be like, oh, what happened to the Hawks? I think that's ridiculous. I think we just did not take advantage of some things that could have been really special. But we fought so hard, which is just an example of how they've done to come through that adversity. And that's what I'm going to focus on after I break down the film, and you have to relive it, and you stay frustrated. And then tomorrow we turn the page, we look at the things on film that we should have done better, and then we have 3 days to prepare for UCLA versus your typical 2, and we'll need 4, but I'll take the 3. So we just got to move on and know that these 2 games are, really a challenge. And then going to Michigan, man, they're really hot right now. So it's a tough challenge, but I think you got to keep them up. And I got to get Sid looking more of the positive than I do the frustration, because there's a lot of great basketball left for this team. And we showed it in spurts, some consistent minutes in that 3rd and 4th. In the overtime, we just let that last couple minutes get away.